Hey guys, Digger Jim here. I am back from the Baltimore Comic Con. This is my brother John. He went with me, and yeah, we had a great time there. We went on Saturday. There were not a lot of people in the beginning. Um, it started to get a lot more people towards the afternoon and at night. So we only went from 10 till like maybe 3:30. I would say 3:30.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds about
and
right.
and when we were leaving, the line was out way out there. But overall, everybody did a pretty decent job of trying to be respectful to each other's space and not, elbow in and everything. Um, uh, there were a lot of different writers, different artists, and obviously there were comic book guys there to sell their wares. My brother is going to show his score first, and then I'll show you what I got. All right, take it away.
Sounds good. I kind of went light and was looking mainly for signatures this go around. So I didn't buy a whole lot. I had some stuff I took with me and wanted to get signed by some artists I'm a fan of, and got to meet some cool people and get some signatures. I did pick up a few things. I picked up this for my 7-year-old son. It's a new company called Ground and Skies Comics, and they have this two land series they're doing, and it's kind of a, I don't know, animal. They're animal characters, but it's the real world, and it deals with some issues like bullying and things like that. That he kind of it works well on his level for someone that young. So it's more of a kid's book, but I went through it last night, and it's pretty cool. It's not super cheesy, um, or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it'll still work on a level for him, so that's good. Um, I picked up this, which is the first publishing effort from Ahoy Comics, it says. It's called The Wrong Earth. Pretty dope, actually. It's Tom Pyers, the writer. Jamal Igle was there at the con and signed it for me, so I was able to get his signature on the inside there. Um, and it's kind of a parallel Earth riff on kind of like what if Batman Adam West version and Batman Dark Knight Returns switched Earth, and how they deal with that. And it's been pretty fun so far. I'm about halfway through it. I'm really digging it. The art that Igle did is gorgeous, and the colorist really helps and beefs it up. So
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that after you're done reading it. You may have to ship that back to me.
yeah, everything else is stuff I already had, and I just went and got signatures. So Brian K. Vaughan was there, and both Cliff Chang, so they were nice enough to do some signatures on my Paper Girls trade paperback for my daughter Abby. Um, so got that all straight. They did a nice job with that, and they were both super personal guys. Jerry Ordway was there, and I got him to sign this Shazam that I like a lot just because it has Starman in it and Bullet Man, and I dig those kind of offbeat characters all being together. And Jerry Ordway was super cool. It was like he was really talkative, and it was like hanging out with your granddad. I thought he, might slip me a Werther's original or something.
Right.
He was just a cool old dude and had a lot of experience and fun stuff to talk about. Same was kind of the same deal with Christopher Priest. I went by and I was really shocked nobody was really there. There wasn't much of a line. There was one guy in front of me, and once he rolled out, there was nobody behind me, and I just kind of hung out and talked with Priest for about 10 minutes. Got him to sign this issue of the Ray for me. Sorry on the glare on that.
Tip it like a
Yeah.
little bit.
So he signed that down there, and he was just a really cool guy. And I always loved this Ray run. It was one of these things where I kind of got out of comics for a while, and when I came back in, that was one of the series I started back in, and he kind of played a big part in getting me back into books. So. And then the first thing I did when I got there is I went straight to the setup where Tom King was. It was him, Mitch Gerads, and Doc Shanner were right there together. So I got the three of them to sign my Strange Adventures #1, and then got Tom to sign my Supergirl #1, and him and Mitch both did a little interior sign here for my Mr. Miracle paperback. Mitch did a cool little doodle there. So that was pretty cool. They were really nice guys. They had a huge line when we first got there to wait, so I had to wait for a little bit. But they made it worth your while. They really took time to talk to everybody that came through and give attention. They were cool guys.
Right on, right on. I personally did not stand in line for all the signatures and whatnot. It took too much. I don't have patience for all that. If I'm getting something and I really want it and they put a signature on it, great, that's fine. With that being said, let's go through some of the books that I got. Well, let me start out by this. I got this, and I don't know if you can see it. It is the negative space variant done by Shadow Rabbit Clay, and he's on IG. You can check him out there, and I'll see if I can put his link in the description down below. And I bought it because it goes with this that I already had, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I wanted to support him in that, so I bought one of those. And then one of the other pieces that I bought was this Rhino comic from Caroline's Comics and Sparks Comics. They are together. They are called You Promised Me Comics, and yeah, it's supposed to be a really good read. So I plan to read that and see where it goes. Now, some of the other stuff that I got, comic-wise, was I bought this with the thought that I would get Frank Cho to sign it if he didn't have a big line, and Frank Cho did not show up until like I think they said 4:30, and we were going out the door by then. Yeah. And I bought this one just because it was right next to it, and I thought maybe it was some type of exclusive, but I don't think it is. But I'll read them and see what they're like. Now, the rest of these things are, let me see. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, I bought this, and I know you're like, why'd you buy an Alex Ross Hulk? Because I did not have this one, and I did not have this one. These were the only two that were missing out of the run of the Alex Ross run. I don't know how I missed them, but I didn't have them. So now I've got all of that run completed. As for, I don't want to say big book, but it's the one that I spent the most money on, in my opinion, for one book, was this. This is the first Tigra. Tigra? Yeah. And I've always really liked that cover. And yeah, I got it from my guys at To Be Continued Comics. They're the LCS that my buddy Mike Ackery goes to. They're down in Crofton, Maryland, which is a little drive for me, but you know, they're really good. And he had other ones that were in the less expensive bin, and he just gave me a good deal on it. That's all I'm gonna say. This is Cat number 2. And then one of the other decent price books, First Multiple Man. I'm like John, I like the offbeat characters some. I think they could do a lot with Multiple Man, and they never have, so I don't know. And then I picked some of these up on the cheap. Iron Fist number 2, which will go in my Iron Fist run there, which I don't have a lot of. Now, I wish this was the real one, but this is a reprint, and I figured, you know what, this might be the only way I get it, so I'm going to enjoy the reprint. And then I went by this, I went by this guy's booth, and he said, everything is, $3, I don't care what's in it, for 6 minutes, and it was all these different comics. And so I just grabbed, because it was right at the end, and I grabbed this Ghost Rider number 25. This is super dope. And this Ghost Rider number 18, just because it's a classic cover with Spider-Man, and they're both in really decent shape for $3. These I pulled out of another gentleman's booth, and I just liked it. It was Kirby art, and it's the origin of Calabac. It's New Gods number 11. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. This is a giant size Superman, and you know, look at all these different stories you get. You can't go wrong with that. That's classic. You think that's silver, right? Yeah, it's got to be silver. And Marvel Team Up number 1. they had 30% off of these particular books right here. So I was like, yeah, I'll take that all day long. It's for the shape that it's in. Yeah, it's really good shape. Red Wolf. I think this is Marvel Spotlight, the #1, the first appearance of Red Wolf. Again, it was 30% off the 14, so it's a deal. And then I got this Marvel team up because the Marvel team up that I have, number 13, is not. It's not as in good shape. So I was able to get a better one. One of the last things we were doing right before we left, we were at one booth, and we were just this particular booth had a lot of completed sets, and I was like, man, I love it when you can get a whole set of something if you can get it at a decent price. So I picked up the Mr. Miracle run that John showed you in the trade. I picked up all the floppies for $30. It's the exact same thing. And, you know, I probably could have gone and gotten it signed by both of them, but again, we were just at that point, we were just ready to leave, and I didn't care about it that much. One of the bigger pieces that I got to do was I got to meet James. James. Why do I keep saying James? Jason Douglas. He wrote Parallel. He's a super great dude in our community, and yeah, he was there. We had talked before. I plan to read this as well, so I want to see how this turns out. And so yeah, I was really excited to meet him, and we got to meet him. On top of that, I met a lot of the YouTube community. Justin from No Good Comics, Brandon was there, Comic Kings, you know, Pocan Joe. I got to meet Pocan Joe. So and Caroline and Jeremy from Sparks Comics. All these different people were there, and it was really nice to meet all them. Now I'm going to show you real quick some of the prints that I got while I was there, because you know I'm a print guy. I like to get prints. If I could get original art, I would, but it's just ridiculous, some of the prices. This is a metal, and I don't know if you're really going to be able to see it. It is a metal cover, as you can see, of Godzilla's. And we both thought that was awesome. So I said, I'm getting that. My son will love it. And then the one thing that I didn't do is I didn't bring one of these sleeves. So I had to purchase one of these sleeves. I bought 2 of them because I didn't know how many I was going to get. But now I can use it the next time I go to a con. So the other part that I got, these are prints that I got. It's a dope print of the Hulk from Jason Metcalf, I believe his name was. I see his work a lot at different cons, and I just think that he's just exceptional. So I try to help him out whenever I can. And I didn't see anybody with, you know, Submariner. So I was like, I got to get that. Now, these were prints that I got off of Jim Shooter's table, and there was nobody there at the beginning, so I talked to him for like 10 minutes. We talked about this film cell that he had. I'm going to show something. He had a film cell that Stan Lee had given him for his birthday, and it was the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends film cell, and he talked about that, and and he signed these, and he talked about that. He talked about how you know, Stan really wanted to go into the animation and get away from the comics. So when it came time, they were at a con, and he said it was the end of the con, and they were doing a Q&A and whatnot, and there were like 300 people in there, and the last question was, when are you going to have Peter Parker and Mary Jane get married? And Stan looked at the guy and said, I don't do that. That's not my thing. That's his thing. You got to ask him. And he pointed to Jim Shooter, and Jim Shooter's like, great, now I got to get these guys married, or these people are going to be really pissed. And so that was kind of funny. The other one I went to is John Beatty. I had him. This is like a mock-up of the original that they sent to Marvel for Secret Wars. And so he signed that. And I thought, I can't go wrong with this one. This is Punisher. He signed that. He was super cool. We talked for a little bit too. But he had a bit of a line starting, so he couldn't really chat. It's a classic, iconic cover. One of the other artists there, and what was his name?
Brian Stilfreeze.
Brian Stilfreeze. He did this Black Panther, which I thought was dope. And this might be one of the most beautiful Monica Rambos I've ever seen. And you know she's coming, so.
Signed both of those.
Yeah, and he signed both of those too. He was super, super cool. And I watched him draw out a sketch for a guy, and I bet he only took him like 4 minutes. I mean, he was like boom, 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 and it looked amazing. I was like, wow, that's just crazy. It's like he already has it in his head how he's going to do it, and he just knocked it out right there. So one of the last posters I have is this, and this is Delta Dogs. This is a poster, and it's signed by the author right there. And Delta Dogs is an independent book created by a gentleman under the name Millennial Comics, and I'll have his Instagram link below. And he was referred to me by Pocan Joe because they're in Norfolk, Virginia, where Pocan lives, and the story takes place in Norfolk, Virginia, and it's about a couple of brothers and cousins. They're all family, but they somehow get powers, and they're protecting their area. This is issue number 1. And what I did was I went ahead and picked up the first 10 issues so that I could read them all. And it was like a package deal. If you got the first 10 issues, it was like the Delta Dog package or something like that. You got a cool little Delta Dogs dog tag, which was nice. But the other reason why I got the next one, which is issue number 11, is because this is an Austin LeMay cover. And if you don't know Austin LeMay, he is a great artist in our IG community and in the comic community as a whole. And he did the cover, and you can see right there it says Pocan Joe. This is a Pocan Joe exclusive. I don't know how many they have of this. I had to get it. And so yeah, this was something I was really happy to get. I've read the first issue of it. I'm kind of enjoying the story, so I'm going to finish up those and get those out. And I'm hoping that I can send this to Austin to have him sign it, because I'm sure he will, because he's a great guy. But yeah, that was our haul. I'm trying to think of anything else I needed to tell you. I don't think there was. I was excited to get back to the cons. I'm hoping that once they did a really good job also with keeping tabs on who, making sure everybody, you had to have one of those temporary bracelets to say, hey, I've been tested, or I'm everything's cool. You had to take a temperature when you first came in, which was no big deal, and it all went pretty smoothly, I thought.
I thought it was run really well. They made everybody feel comfortable, I think, and safe. Masks up and so forth, and
right.
And everybody seemed to be kind of conscientious of, we want to see the same people and the same things, but let's give everybody space to and time to do that.
Right.
And the organizers did a really good job.
Right. They had a lot of volunteers. I believe they had more volunteers at this one than any of them I've ever been to. And I think it was imperative that they have that so that they could, keep a watch on everybody. I mean, they pretty much came out and said that, like, if you start shoving and pushing in the line, you're going to the back. And I thought that was great. So they were, because in past years it was just a little, it wasn't quite that many volunteers monitoring what people did. But I think it was because, we need that right now. So anyways, that's my haul from the Baltimore Comic-Con. Like I said, I'm very excited to have all of these things. And I can't wait for another one. I don't know when the next one I'm going to go to. I wish I was going to C2E2, but it's out of my budget right now. So maybe another time. But thanks for watching, guys. And as always, keep on digging. Peace.